What is up, my days? My name is Umu, and I'm React the Cage channel creator.
What's up, everybody? It's Henry from Classical Musicians React.
Welcome to Henry's and my first listen to Day6 Even of Days album Gluon? Nothing can tear us apart. Because glue on, like you're gluing it on, unless it's an actual word. I don't know. Okay, anyways, yes, welcome to our reaction. We are going to be listening to the whole thing in sequence. So even though our music video reaction is already out, we're actually right at this very moment. I haven't heard it yet. We're going to be listening to the first three, then starting a separate video for the music video, and then finishing the last three, refreshing ourselves, and then discussing the album.
It's going to be great. I heard from some of y'all that a box of tissues are going to be needed, so I have those ready. I have some water in case I need to rehydrate.
So without further ado, let's jump right in. 3, 2, 3, 2, 1.
Abort landing sequence.
Abort? Warning, warning, warning.
60
Breathe in, and out, and in, and out, and out. Breathe in.
0 meters.
Wow.
Fantastic, baby. Dance!
Organ? I love that.
Oh my.
Is this the Denimals talking?
What is that?
Good chorus.
Hey, come on.
Oh, that silence was killer!
This is what it feels like halftime. Still getting that floating vibe with a little triplet transition.
Hey. I love that stack on the vocals.
Yeah, comment on. Oh! Da-da-da-da-da-da. Now it's where we're riding space horses. Pew, pew.
Bring it on, bring it on, bring it on.
Okay, what is Landed going to sound like? Huh, let's just jump right in. I remember Day6. Should I call them Day6 or Even of Day? Let's call them Even of Day. I remember Even of Day said that they experimented a lot more with synth sounds since, you know, they're down to guitarists, so they played around with more computer synth production. I'm gonna start at the very end of the intro and go straight into Landed. So 140 of intro. 3, 2, 1. Oh, little sounds like a pentatonic. Very open, floating feeling. Miyazaki uses this scale for when there's scenes in the sky. Hello. Almost a 75th sequence.
I'm really feeling the drums. Ooh. Very pretty. Very pretty feeling.
It still feels like we're building. We're still having that percussion. Are we gonna have a release soon? Didn't quite have the release I was expecting, because we're still banging away. Okay, that's Young K singing an octave down. That's a cute little trade-off between One Pill and Young K. I like the little either synth or vocal part. Is it still there? We'll go back and point it out again. It's kind of like a counter melody to the main vocals. Thinking back to the motif from the beginning. We're still banging away!
I wish I understood Korean. I like that. Pulling back on the yeah. Boom.
Because we have like the oohs in the vocals. And the octaves below are turned up pretty loudly. We've changed the persistent eighth notes. Oh, there it is again. But it went to hi-hat for a second. That was like the second break we've had in the texture. Before it was a drum, and then we had One Pill. Yeah, there it is. The vocals layered in with that synth line.
A lot of fast-moving harmony here.
Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna go and read the lyrics. Because it felt like the entire time we had no release, we had no settlement. We were like constantly flying up in the sky, even though it's called Landed. So let's read the lyrics. I'm laughing, but why does it hurt? Oh, jeez! I like it, but why does it sting? I guess it kind of feels like you're wandering. It feels like there's an endless motion forward, so that fits in with those lyrics. Why won't the fear stop? Am I reading the right lyrics? I did not expect these. Well, that gave me a totally different interpretation of the song.
Meanwhile, we're gonna watch the lyrics this time as I listen to Landed. Oh no. This changes everything. No, it's such a happy sounding song. This makes the harmony make so much more sense. This changes everything. This changes everything. Wow, I understand why I need to have one of these, although it hasn't hit yet. It takes me a little longer to get there. So like movies and musicals, they usually they do the job because I'm there for a couple hours, but songs are so short that I need some time to process and feel. But oh my gosh.
I wanted to go back to the first verse in which I thought I heard Doan singing, but it actually just might have been Wonpil singing an octave down from himself, and they just boosted it up a lot and just allowed the lower frequencies to really keep it, like, cut through the rest of the mid frequencies. In I kind of want to talk about in orchestra how there are 4 French horns, and the first and third typically get the higher parts, the second and fourth typically get the lower parts, and second and fourth support the first and third. Now, when the second horn is in harmony with the first horn, even though you're playing lower, you need to be quieter because the more important notes are given to the first horn. However, if you're not in harmony with the first horn, if you're an octave below, if you're unison but just, different range of frequencies, you have to play louder than the first horn. So because those lower notes support the higher notes in a way, and it fills out the sound once our sound reaches the audience. And so they turned up the octave below like a lot. Like that really peaked out. I'm not used to hearing Day6's lower singing being so prominent in the mix. So that was an interesting takeaway from this. This freaking sounds like a vacation. I swear, this song sounds like you're flying through the sky on Laputa, Castle in the Sky. You're freaking flying into the universe. Like, that's the vibe this song gives off to me, just sonically and melody-wise. And then the lyrics are just like so sad. Now we're moving on to Ocean, and then we'll be moving on to the music video right after that. 3, 2, an Ocean interlude 1. 3, 2, 1. Hello, Ocean.
What a beautiful day.
Okay, so those are the dynamos.
Oh. Lay back with this one.
Is this whistle gonna continue into where the... Oh, nice chord there. Oh, the ocean's getting closer.
I would call this probably just a heavily swung duple. It doesn't really feel like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, although the drums are kind of playing that.
Ooh, that little slide. Whoa. That's love.
Oh, it's so cute.
Well, I assume something bad is just about to happen because there was some thunder and then the demo screamed, no! Yo, so while listening to that, I was having a flashback to, I don't know if anyone else watched this show, but it's most likely your grandparents watched it, or maybe your parents, but Lawrence Welk. It was this American show where there was a host, and then he'd say some words, and he'd be like, let's get the show started. And he'd have dancers, he'd have skits, he'd have a full-on band, and he'd have a bunch of singers. And the part that when Young K started coming in with those harmonies, the way that the harmonies developed, not necessarily the way that he sung them, because back when Lawrence Welk was filmed, I think vibrato was very, very prominent in everything, and this was more straight toned. But those harmonies and the acapella-ness of it, like just full-on throwback to watching an acapella group or just singers harmonizing with each other on Lawrence Welk, came into my mind. Wow.
To wrap up my thoughts for this beginning, it's really interesting. I feel like it has a kind of a more commercially popular sound than what I'm used to hearing with Day6, where kind of it has a bit more of an alternative and a rock feel, but I really feel and landed. I don't know, just the sounds they use are so unique, Doesn't really feel like a standard sampled sound. They really crafted something on their own, whether or not it was live in a studio or like just fiddling around in a program, but it's really unique. All right, we're gonna pause here. Umu and I are gonna watch the music video for Where the Sea Sleeps.